All right, so tell us what you think, because you've probably been in a situation like, what? I need to tip you for making me that sandwich. Vote right now on fox26houston.com or the free news app. When should you tip for food? And most of you, 72%, say dining in or delivery. All right. Well, we have our wonderful Tom Zizka looking into it, because more businesses are adding an option to leave a tip, and it's just one more expense added to high inflation and rising interest rates.
Yes, our business reporter Tom Zizka says consumers are often forced to make a decision just to complete the sale. Hi, Tom.
Hello, Caroline, Rashi, good evening to you. You know, love it or hate it, tipping is part of the service economy that we are. It's how those workers make their money. Like a lot of people, I was able to pay for college, waiting tables and tending bar, but lately there is pressure and frustration about leaving more than you may want.
Thursday or today I can get you.
Ira Danian opened his Fulshire barbershop a year ago. He says his barbers and stylists get paid a decent rate, but gratuities are part of making ends meet. And when customers check out, they're faced with a digital tip suggestion between 25 and 30% or a custom amount. Danian says no one's complained.
Since we are facing face-to-face with the client, usually they don't say anything, so they just do it, and then I feel like sometimes the next time they try to bring cash so they know how to tip accordingly.
I am a server making $5-something an hour, and I live off of your tip.
The topic of tipping is hot on social media, particularly the growing trend of those automatic digital tipping prompts that might leave some feeling pressured to pay more. And there are so many more places with their hands out. Starbucks recently came under fire for prompting credit card customers to tip, sometimes generously, when they order a cup of coffee. On Facebook, a lot of you've got something to say about it. Glenda Trapp Wardrop says, tip well. These people work hard for not a lot of money. While Jared Dunn says, I tip the wait staff. If there's no wait staff, I do not tip. And from Linda Powers, I ignore the suggested tip and customize to my budget.
Tipping etiquette is still driven by a basic standard.
Houston etiquette expert Darian Lewis says expanded tipping grew out of the pandemic as a thanks for service workers who were still on the job. But with more hands out, he says those expecting a tip have a simple job.
Make sure that your service is consistent with your expectation for tipping. If you want to generate higher tips, make sure that your service dictates that.
And Darian Lewis says, go with your gut here. Leave what you feel is appropriate rather than succumbing to pressure. And there is some pressure on social media. I found stories today of mortgage companies, apartment rental offices looking for tips. If your gut says that's wrong, it probably is. Watching Your Money on Tom Zizka, Fox 26 News.
It's a good point.
Yes, there is. I mean, I could see both sides of this, but how many times being on, I guess, the other end of trying to buy something, have you been caught off guard, right?
Yeah. Some of those numbers on that screen are pretty big sometimes.
There's no option for no tip. Not that I'm like that, but I'm just saying.
You can always leave no tip. That's always up to you.
Well,
thanks, Tom.
Yep, that is true.
All right, that
Proceed
is
carefully,
true.
though. Proceed carefully.
Thanks for that advice.